Z is a refugee from Afghanistan living in Maryland with his wife and children. Before he arrived here, he worked as a dog trainer and handler for the American Army in Afghanistan, providing security and training dogs to detect explosives and narcotics. Because he worked for the Americans, he began to be watched by the Taliban. When he enrolled his daughter in school in Afghanistan, he began receiving threatening phone calls and experienced intimidation because of her gender. His family was in danger, and he wanted to keep them safe, so he applied for a special immigrant visa to the U.S. Z says his first months here were like being in jail. The family was under stress, they didn't know anyone, and they spoke a different language. In his culture, they teach people to give, but he couldn't understand why no one here was helping them. Isn't that the American thing to do? Here in Montgomery County, there's a large network of faith groups and other organizations working toward helping refugee families.
I'm Reverend Mansfield Kaseman. I go by Casey. I'm the Interfaith Community Liaison in the Office of Community Partnerships.
My name is Patricia Maclay, and I'm a physician by profession. I am on the Executive Committee, the Steering Committee, and I am Chairman of the Health and Advocacy Committee at the Montgomery County Interfaith Refugee Resettlement Neighbors, or Neighbors as we call ourselves.
My name is Nguyen. I'm a member of Chevy Chase Presbyterian Church, and we were invited here today to share our experiences with co-sponsoring a refugee family.
Well, my role within the Office of Community Partnerships is to be identifying all the faith communities and bringing them together in terms that help them understand and appreciate each other, and then to combine their resources in responding to various needs.
We are organized into 3 different levels, and so level 1, when the family first arrives, we totally furnish their home, give them a large amount of food. We also give them Target cards and Metro cards to allow them to have transportation. We do ESOL classes. That is handled through McKern itself. Then we begin to organize a group of interfaith groups that want to step up and sponsor this family. And at that point, we have that hookup where it's not just McKern doing it, it's now the interfaith group, and we hand the family off to them.
As a co-sponsor with LSS, that's Lutheran Social Services, we're signed on as a level 1 co-sponsor, and that involves providing for housing. So they have other levels of sponsorship where you don't have the funds or you don't have the resources to provide housing. You can do other things like just mentoring the refugees to access services and translation and just daily life.
Usually within 3 months, the family no longer gets federal or state aid, so that is when the organizations really need to step up and sponsor. So they will be helping them with rent, food, things they need at home, help the kids with education, do the ESOL classes, and help them with health situations. Many of our families, the ones we've been accepted, have a lot of health problems through ECDC. So we advocate for them in their doctor's offices, and we help them try to find jobs. And now our biggest thing is getting them moved into Montgomery County to make it easier.
What we're doing right now, we're bringing together all of the resettlement agencies. This is a major project, because to do it well, which we'd expect here in Montgomery County, we're needing to commit ourselves to a 5-year process. It can't be just welcoming immigrants and refugees. It has to be a matter of providing ongoing support.
Eventually, Z came in contact with Abdul Sheikh, who works at the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation. During his first few months in America, all Z wanted was someone to talk to, someone to show him the way. He knew he had the energy, and he knew that he could make it here. He just needed the support. Sheikh gave him what he needed.
Then we started looking at how we can support him permanently. So I looked around in the community and found him a job at a gas station. And he couldn't move. He couldn't go there because he didn't have a transport, and it was a night shift. So I asked people, we need a car. So someone donated a car. So I got it repaired and brought him, got it, fixed and gave him a car.
There are currently 60 million migrants, refugees in the world today. And so that was an issue that naturally we'd want to be taking on, especially in a county like Montgomery County, where over a third of us are foreign-born to begin with.
My church got involved because, I think largely because 30-some years ago, they sponsored a Vietnamese refugee family, and that was my family. So for me, being involved is just, it's, honoring my family history, my parents' history in coming here as refugees and having people here who were willing to help us start on our new life here.
As a physician by trade, my specialty has a lot to do with teaching about stress and the rewards that happen in our body chemistry when we choose to give instead of receiving. So when we give, we make a lot of chemicals called serotonins and endorphins, which are very healthy. They keep us healthy. They let us be healthy into the future. So my message would be, go out there and help.
The first thing we start is the getting involved, going to see the guy and see what his issues are. We can give resources, but the best thing you can do to a refugee is to donate your time.
Today, with the help of the Montgomery County Muslim Foundation, Z has found a job at a dog daycare center. He's much happier and says he worries less, but there are still multitudes of challenges ahead. The family wants to move since his daughter is being bullied at school. His 5-year-old son has mental disabilities which remain undiagnosed, but he believes are associated with the trauma they experienced in Afghanistan. The rest of his extended family is suffering terrible conditions back home, and all he can do about it is pray. What does he want from Americans? Advice, support, and acceptance. He doesn't need his hand to be held, and he's ready to work hard, but he, and people like him, can't do it alone. He says, "You don't need to give me fish, just teach me how to go fishing."